Hi, everybody, and welcome to ZealZaddy. I'm Scott Coventry. I'm the DM and storyteller of not Mists of Elixia, of Elixia, Box of Memories. This is, although contrary to what the tweet was, this is Season 2, Episode 1. And I'm super excited to get started with this season. There's so many new things we're going to be playing with this year. Ran into some technical things, so they're not all going to happen tonight, but we got some of our new openings and new videos, a little bit more engrossing images to look at. I do need to get arcane spectacles on my good vibes too, and I know they were in chat earlier, maybe still are, so definitely have to get them. So this is season 2. Last season we had 27 episodes to get to the end of the year, and all of those video on demands, those VODs, are up on YouTube. We generally do sort of a recap each game, but I think what we're going to do is, I don't think you need to know everything that happened in the last game. There's a lot of things that are going to happen and will come out as we play. And rather than try and make people feel like they missed a whole year of stuff, I'm going to give you right now to kind of let you know where we are. In the last season, there was one or two things that were really important. There was a devil on the island that thought it was on its way to becoming a diva again. It was an Arrhenius. And this was last season's big bad. And she had manipulated just everybody important on the island, except, of course, for the players. Although she manipulated them a little bit early through her incubus and succubus cohorts. She was kind of disturbed in some ways that you don't expect to see from devils. She really thought that she was a diva. And she thought the things that she was doing were the right things and good things for the return of a god that she was following. The players, on the other hand, were actually started out just trying to figure out why people were disappearing from the island. And they did find a lot of that out, and we'll get to that in gameplay, I think. So, that being said, let me bring the players on and let them introduce themselves. Beginnings of new seasons are
the audio is
just
working.
Fraught with problems. So getting back, we were introducing Morgan. Morgan, would you like to
start over?
Continue or start over with your character?
I'll start over. Everybody, my name is Morgan. I'm founder of Mindfully Mondays, a hire DMs for hire. You can find us at mindfullymondays.com. I play Vesryn Madrick. He is from House Madrick. His father rules the island of Elixia. It's here where he grew up. His mother was not abducted. What are we calling it? Ascended.
Ascended.
His mother ascended many, many years ago. And at the start of this adventure, a whole bunch of people ascended, which is what pulled him into this in the first place. He is basically the black sheep of his family due to loving somebody that he was not allowed to love. And in the past, he was always reactive to issues, which is part of the reason why he's going through a change now, because he's changing away from abjuration magic into something new, which hopefully we'll get into a little bit tonight. But other than that, he is dedicated to his friends, to his family, to his island, in all a better place, and just wants to give all he can to those around him that he feels are important. So he's a wood elf also. I didn't say that part. Might help to know that he's an elf.
Yes. Dillon.
Hey guys, my name is Dillon, and I play Eslov, the Dragonborne Barbarian. He is from the Blue Wastes. I forgot to mention that he is part ranger now, which was disclosed by the DM. Instead of instead of me in character. But that's water under the bridge. Eslov comes from the Blue Wastes, which are the lands to the north. He was, as far as the party knows, banished by his tribe, but they don't exactly know why yet. And that will eventually come up, I assume. But Eslov is, like all barbarians, he's strong, he's brave, but unlike most barbarians, he keeps his anger in check most of the time. And like Vesryn, there's going to be some new things about him this season that have not been present last season. So we might see some of that tonight.
Brandon.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I play Marcon Von Amstel. I'm the cleric of the group. Morcant is a very level-minded pacifist. And unlike the other ones, I plan absolutely no change whatsoever.
Wait, he's a pacifist?
It's true.
He's an underreactionist.
How do you pass your fist?
I just want to remind everyone to beware of armed fish, and moving boxes in a Seattle heat wave really, really sucks. So
he's a verbal warrior. That's what he is.
I love the armed fish, which we all know exists now. We all know because it was disclosed in front of all of us.
And Tiffany.
Hey, I'm Tiffany. I play Cerridwen Sagewynd. She goes by Dwin. She's the bard of the group. She's a Firbolg from a more farmy part of the island. I joined this group a little bit later in the campaign. Cerridwen works as a historian / bard. So she goes around the island collecting stories, and then she'll actually take those and turn the history into bardic phrase. And her backstory is that she had a secret love affair with Vesryn's older brother Eldrin, and then he basically got scared and told her to run away. And then she took their child and took him away. So she had a child out of wedlock with the like prince of the island, basically. But then to protect her bastard child, basically, she gave him up for adoption because she didn't know what the Viscount would do to this illegitimate heir. So she sent him away to an adoption society, essentially. So she was hoping that he would be safe away. And we found out that her son Talison is on the island, and she doesn't know exactly where. We just have evidence that he has been around and that now he's currently in danger. So her goal right now is to find Talison, even though she hasn't seen him since he was a babe.
All right. Well, at the end of last season, we ended with a ship sailing into port. What would be considered a pretty important ship, the flagship of the Elixian Navy, on which is the father of one of the characters, and I suppose the grandfather of one of the children of one of the characters.
Yeah.
That's
not complicated.
That maybe he doesn't know about. So you have a little time as you see the ship sailing in. What would you like to do? We'll start with Morgan, because I know that this is like a moment that, he's been preparing for or avoiding. I'm not sure which, for basically his whole life.
I'll turn to everybody. I think we left off where I said father's back, right?
Yes.
Father's home.
Father's home.
Which is kind of ominous.
Right after I say that, I would turn to Ratha. sister, what should we do? Should we... You know more than I do about this matter. Father's returning. The place is a wreck. I'm looking at Rotha.
But I think we should tell him first about his son, about our brother passing, and one of them being in a cell down below. From there, I haven't seen anything to make me think it would be an easier or a better way to either flee or stay.
Yes. Well, this is as much his responsibility as it is ours. So I think it's a burden we should all equally have. I'll look at the other three. I don't know if you wish to stand around for his return. You may be welcomed as heroes, or you may be welcomed with anger at the sight of his home being as it is, with everything on fire and messed up.
What? As what, Vesryn? What are you talking about?
This isn't the way he
Everything's fine.
left. I look at you. This isn't the way he left this. You do realize that, yes?
He's grinning ear to ear. It's obvious he's teasing you. Right?
Yeah. So, I would gladly welcome you to stay here if you wish, or if you're uncomfortable and rather meet up later. There's an inn in the town that I can meet you at, perhaps. It's your decision, your call. I don't want you to be uncomfortable.
Talon may be gone, but you still need a bodyguard.
And when you look back on the city, it's still a mess. You're not even sure that the tavern or any of the taverns are actually open at the moment.
That's true.
Or capable of opening.
The guards that are coming off the boat with Rothaner, oh no, they've been here for a little bit, yes? I'm trying to think of how long they've been here.
Rothaner. Yeah, they've been here. Well, they got here just before they were expecting a battle.
Yeah.
And not a cleanup. And they've been here for probably a few days at this point.
Oh, so most of the main destruction has been dealt with.
Yeah. Yeah, putting out fires, cleaning up the messes. Although cleaning up the messes meant creating piles to burn of damaged buildings, and the keep itself has been picked clean almost of a lot of stuff, of anything of value.
Now, I would assume I would know this. When he returns, is there certain signals that we give the city, or is there anything that we do to prepare the city for his return?
There's usually a bell that goes off when any of the ships of the Navy arrive. It is not going off. It is not being rung.
I will tell somebody to go find that bell and ring it. And if they cannot find it, find another bell and ring it.
Let's ring all the bells.
Dwayne's just been staring into the distance, going through all sorts of emotions. You're like, "Do you want to meet your father?" She's just like, nope. Morcant, do you want to go to? Do you want to go to the Soul? Do you want to go literally anywhere but here?
Yeah, let's go through
Let's go.
Yeah, I think our work here is done for now. There's much more to do.
There's one devil I don't want to deal with. She's just gonna walk off that deck.
The worst one of them all, the father-in-law.
The most dangerous in and out of D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess with that, Vesryn will do everything he needs to do to try to make his father's arrival as smooth as possible for the sake of his fury.
and within a few hundred yards of the ship actually pulling in, you hear a church bell go from the other side of the city. And it's the best that could be done in the time. Because the bell that would normally ring has been damaged and it can't ring. It has been taken off its rope. And as the ship is coming in, you can see sailors on the sides getting ready to drop rope and start tying down the ship. And as it's coming in, standing dead center in the middle of the ship, amongst the middle of all this chaos, is a man standing, his arms crossed behind his back as he looks over at the keep, smoke rising from some of the fires that are still, cinders and burning in the distance. And the moment that the plank drops, he starts to step down, doesn't even look back at the ship or the people on the ship, the men on the ship, and he walks off onto the dock, sees you and Eslov.
Would Rotha and my other siblings be there as well?
Yeah, Rotha's there. Your brother and sister are not.
Oh, really?
Someone's in trouble.
Interesting. Surprised that they didn't show up. All right.
Rotha just goes, "Father, it appears that we need to have a family council."
What does
Does
this
it
guy
not?
look like?
So when he is on the ship, he looks kind of thin, but as he steps down, you realize that for an elf, he's really tall. He's probably close to 6'5", 6'6", but thin. He's wearing leather armor, corboily boiled armor with metal parts on it. He has a rapier to one side, a dagger in the other, and he's wearing the unicorn sigil on a cloth that hangs over the front. When he looks at anybody, though, he has like piercing, like almost a dark gray eyes, not quite black but dark. And he's gaunt. He's thin, but he doesn't look weak from the thinness. He looks like he's sinew and tight muscle, but older.
Go ahead. Sorry.
And he looks around at everybody. At least you have somebody here to protect you. Looks like no one can protect the city in my absence.
In the past, when his father would look at Vesryn, he would kind of look away, unsure. But this time he looks at him cold, cool, and just not taking his eyes off of his father's eyes if they lock.
They lock.
There's been a lot that has happened since you have left, Father. As Rotha says, we should really have a family council.
That's an understatement. I'm Phelan, and he reaches a hand out to you, Eslov.
I'll take it. How tight is his grip?
He's got a grip like, for an elf, like iron.
I'll shake it heavily. Eslov.
You're from the wastes?
You're perceptive.
I've been there.
I've heard.
I've met your kind up there. They're very brave.
You didn't war against them, did you?
We haven't had to have a war in quite some time. And never, as far as I know, with the people of the Blue Wastes. Did you want a war with us?
Not I. Not after saving this island. I don't seek to destroy it.
If you need somewhere to stay, I suspect you've been offered a room. I can't say there will be many accommodations. It looks like everyone is left or abandoned. And he just looks around the room, and he stops at Rotha and Vesryn. Where are your other siblings?
Well, Ileana and Ulrich.
I'm here, and you hear her coming up from the end of the docks, and your brother are coming up.
They're here. The family meeting is in regards to our other siblings.
I didn't say meeting, it's a council. I'm going to give you some counsel.
Yes, council. The council that we asked to have with you is in regards to Eldrin and Aelin.
Let's go inside.
I agree.
Eslov, and he nods as he walks past and through the middle of all of you.
Power move.
Ratha, what's happened here? And he calls on her generally, you would think, because she's the oldest of the ones that are of the siblings that are here. So it's likely that he's just going by age and seniority. And she starts going over what she knows, which is probably about a third of what you know. And there's a lot of things she can't quite fill in. And she finally says, but Father Vesryn would really know the most. He's been the most active in correcting this error on our family's part. And he stops and he turns and he looks at you, Vesryn, in an unusual way, just kind of almost like intrigued. And then he turns and continues walking. Tell me more, Ratha. And she goes over more about the mutiny and whatever's happened. What are the rest of you doing? Are you...
I mean, I would be following. I think Morcant and Dwyn headed for the Soul to get out of Dodge. I would welcome you to walk alongside us since you are a part of this. You may not be part of the family, but you know everything that we're going to be talking about. So unless my father says otherwise, I would motion for you to follow if you wanted.
Eslov would be walking behind everyone very awkwardly, like not really sure of whether or not he was supposed to be walking behind everyone.
How to maintain what they would call as poise, and makes no sense to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, Dwyn would just be like, no, she does not think her presence is going to add to that. She thinks she's just better not.
Right.
Not be there.
Morcant's already gone looking for the Panye of the area to offer his services.
Yes. So, as you walk into the keep, the contingent that's here, there's still piles of things that are being burned. You know, just rubble and trash that needs to be gotten rid of, and that's how you get rid of things that will burn. Is you just make piles and let it rip. And he walks in. The gate is up. There's nothing blocking it entry. The courtyard is just mostly destroyed. There are no tapestries or flags of the house hanging. And he stops in the entrance. Is there food and drink still in the keep?
I would assume at this point, a couple days, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
There's some. You probably got some together. And Ratha looks at you.
I would. Yes, Father. We already have people making meals.
I'll have a meal before we speak. You and Eslov and your sisters and brother. Leave me to my thoughts for a little bit. We'll have counsel before the evening. And he walks forward into the courtyard. just
Plenty of fish for you.
there are plenty of fish.
He's probably stepped on a few as he's been walking.
Well, they've cleaned it up mostly here by
Oh,
now.
there's no way they get all of them.
No, piled it. There's piles of fish. It must smell so wonderful.
Eslov,
Rotting
yes,
fish.
he loves it. He's in Wonderland right now.
And he walks into the keep. Once he hits the gate, the portcullis that's broken, and he starts walking in, his pace slows to almost a crawl as he just takes in everything that he's seeing. The damages to all of the property, everything's gone. Most everything's gone. And you see him head into where you would think would be the throne room, and on the other side of that, probably the kitchens.
There is one thing I would have liked to have had some people working on. The people that had been hung with that's the order, that special order.
Yeah.
I would have liked somebody taken time to put a board and put their badges on there with their names and like put like in memory of kind of thing, like a memorial for those people. So when he walks in, he sees all those people that lost their life during this stuff. Not just, I want him to realize how bad it was.
Yeah, he'll actually stop at that. If you do that, he'll stop at it, and you'll see him reach up and look at the badges and kind of just rub them just to kind of bring in the memories. You've known him that he's always been deliberative, and a memory like that and the people that it represents would definitely have impact on him. And after a few minutes of that, he then heads back in. What are the rest of you doing?
Eslov will continue to walk with the group of Van Amstels.
All right, let's.
Not Van Amstels.
It's
been too long. I forget
the
Madrakes.
The Madrakes. Okay, so Morcant and Cerridwen, you head to the Soul.
Yep.
And almost 2 blocks out from the Soul, there are people sitting and being fed fish with ale, very weak ale. You can tell it hasn't, to spread it out because there's just not a lot. And they're not hungry, but I would say they're not sated. Maybe it's not food that they need, but it's something. And there's the Apania here is walking with 2 other clerics and giving direction to the other two, and they walk off from him. And he sees you, Morcant, and he walks towards you.
Hello, Panya. I am Marcon Von Amstel. I was hoping to offer my services before I return to Phelan, as I feel you're probably in need of my help at the moment.
Well, at the moment we're feeding and clothing people, but without work, there won't be money very long for them to survive. We do need to get a few more ships out to sea, so there are people preparing the fishing ships. It's not that they need fish, but people need goals and things to do. It'd be better to get them off the land and get the sea under them again.
Well, then I shall head to the dock and see if anyone needs my help there. Thank you.
Sure. Dwin's just looking for anything to distract her right now. So she'll just follow Morcant. Oh, there's who.
Sneak off and go fishing.
What? Sorry.
What do you say we sneak off and go fishing as I push fish out of the way on the ground?
I would take you up on the heartbeat. Anything to get away.
You know of any lakes nearby?
You do.
I'm
You know
trying to
lots of
remember the
things.
map off the top of my head. I think there is a lake.
Like within day trip distance, you know?
There's the map. So there's Robos already made it. There's a lot of lakes. This part of the island is just dotted with lakes all over, small ones all over the place. A couple big ones, Lake Geld, Lake Mary, Lake Kiralk. But almost everywhere you go, there's lakes up here.
Yeah. So she'll just name a few. Oh well, I mean, if there's one that she think there'd be less people at, then she'd name that one.
Most of them will have no people at. Maybe a person. Maybe there might be one or two homes on most of the lakes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think everyone's safe right now. Let's go ahead and take a little time and head out there.
Sounds good to me. She'll just start leading the way.
Okay, so you head out of town,
Yeah.
and
Apparently.
and oddly, the smell of fish doesn't actually leave. There's dead fish out here too. It didn't seem to be just local to the towns. It's the land in between. It's like the whole island was covered in fish from the sky. All the animals that you see that eat meat are just stuffed and almost in torpor. They're just so full. You get out there and the smell everywhere is now of rotting fish. There are birds flying around that occasionally land and eat some of the fish and then just stop. These are scavengers and they're just overwhelmed with the scavenging. They just can't keep up, or they can't catch up. What are you doing while you're out there?
I think Dwyn would just pull out her flute and start to just play it to pass time.
I forgot you played the flute. You always play the other instruments.
Yeah. She'll play her flute because she doesn't play it too often. It's a little penny whistle.
After a significantly long, awkward amount of not talking to each other, Morcant would turn to her and is like, they have resources. They could probably help you find him.
Oh, I know. I don't know. There's just a lot of... I do want to find him, but I don't know if he wants me to find him. So I feel weird about that. And I really didn't expect to find Phelan, their father, showing up out of nowhere. I just was not prepared for that. I mean, gotta understand that guy pretty much hates me. And I don't know what he would do once he found out had a son out of wedlock with his dead son before he died. And she just kind of was like, so I don't think my presence would really help at the moment, especially with Talison on the line. There's just too many unknown factors. But once things are settled down, I'll go about the island trying to figure out any more leads on him.
Do what you want, but once things are settled down, you might not have the same. They might not have the same motivation to help you like they do right now. The magics really don't tend to do much.
Well, Vesryn already said he would help me. She just kind of shakes her head.
That's one that'll help you. Out of like
That's
a
at
whole
least
bunch of
one.
them.
And I don't really expect them to help me. There's just a lot. There's just a lot going on. I
It's
don't
a bit
want
out of my reach from the soul, but if you're ever in Phelan, be sure to stop by, and I'll do what I can.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And while you're out there, you hear what sounds like a wheel up again on the road, like wheel turning on a cart.
Gonna look down the road and see what it is, I suppose.
And you see a cart rolling, and it
So
has a bunch of kobolds pulling it along, and they're under a shade that they made in the front of it. And as they go, a couple of them have to keep going out to move fish out of the way to make it roll more easily.
Okay.
There's always people on roads, so
Have
may not
I
be a big
met?
deal.
Have I ran into kobolds before?
You have heard that there are kobolds on the island, but you have never actually met them or know where they live, which is really unusual because you know where everybody and everything lives.
Okay, so she'll approach the wagon and talk to them in Draconic, saying, "Oh, hail! Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?"
Why are you a magic?
Oh, she kind of like pauses for a second, like technically I kind of am. And she's like, "No, I'm just a historian. I've heard that there are kobolds on the island, and I've never met one until now. So it's a cultural interest to me."
Well, I'm not going to tell you where we live. You don't know because we don't want anyone to know.
Why don't you want anyone to know?
And they start whispering to each other. We live in the mountains.
Oh, okay. Mountains. Do you
There's a bunch of mountains all over the island.
mountains? Okay. Do you
And they start whispering.
do you do agriculture, or are you mainly like animal husbandry?
We live near Mount Oda.
Okay.
And you do know that mountain. That's a tall, it's a tall but flat mountain near Raetha, which is in the center of the island.
That's kind of far away, isn't it?
Yeah, we're traveling. We're traveling back.
Do you travel for trade?
And they whisper. Yes, we sometimes do travel for trade.
Oh. Where do you like traveling around to
We had business in Cairo. We're on our way home. Why are you out here questioning us?
Well, I've never met a kobold, and I know a lot of people on this island. I've been around it a lot. I was just curious. One more, if you'll indulge me. Have you ever met someone named Talison on the road? He's my son. Trying to find him.
Maybe. A long time ago, maybe.
Do you remember where?
Do you remember where we met all those Firbolgs? Down near Shaley, I think. Yeah, near Shaley.
Did he look like me, but a lot shorter?
All the Firbolgs look like you as far as we're concerned. We really have
Okay.
to get going. We have a long way to go, and this cart is heavy. And they lean into it, and they're actually pulling it without a beast. It looks pretty heavy.
Right, and she'll step aside.
And as it's rolling past you, the back is all covered under a cloth or a canvas of some type. Make me I'll just make it a perception check.
$18.
Out of the back of it, there's a kobold walking at the back and pushing, and as they do, a little purple silk sticks out the end just a little bit, and it shoves it back in and covers it back under the thing. And it looks back after a moment to see if you're still looking or following, and it just keeps pushing.
See what I can. She's dang, okay, I can't do anything sneaky. I think she'll. Oh, I guess she'll just go for the kill. I saw some silk under that. Are you're looking to trade, right? I'd be happy to trade if it's for silk.
No, we bought it. We traded to get it.
Where'd you get silk? It's a rare commodity.
From Chiral, that's where we said we were.
Can I insight this dude?
Sure.
Okay, I'll insight him. Ooh, okay. That's a natural that's a dirty 20. Sorry.
They're really kind of trying to dance around your questions. And you can tell that they're trying to dance around it. They really are trying to get moving and get out of this area, it seems.
Okay. I think she'll just like kind of like do a what's that?
And what is the action connected to that? What's that?
She's trying to persuade them to like look away for a second so she can just lift up the tarp and see underneath. So she's pointing like, "Whoa, what's that in the distance?"
Let's see if you got a stupid kobold. And it looks for a moment, and it comes back. And there's just a moment where if you wanted to do it, you could do it, but it would be like bald-faced right in front of him.
How much of this am I noticing, and how much am I just completely distracted by fishing?
Well, you hear her up there talking to people. Suddenly, kind of squeaky people. I mean, it is fishing. You can totally leave the fishing rod there and plant it between some rocks if you want to go up.
All right, I'll kind of walk to the other side of the carriage and look at Cerridwen and be like, "So, you're merchants. I actually have something quite interesting that you might want to trade." And I'll try to distract them with my jar of alchemy to see if I can pull their attention to Cerridwen.
One of the kobolds says, hold on, to the cart. Show it to me.
Oh, it's quite amazing, and I'll begin to pour some mayonnaise.
Yes.
Of course, mayonnaise. What is that?
I mean, you gotta go with all the
Well,
fish.
try it. It's delicious. And see if I can try to get as many of them focused on me as possible.
And it like tentatively kind of puts its hand out, and it kind of swipes some of it with his hand. You eat this?
Typically, you put it on bread, perhaps a little cheese or meat.
What is it made of?
That's it. This
It's
jar
little-
is magic. Every
it's little
day
s-
it produces gallons of mayonnaise.
Its little slithery tongue comes out and licks at it.
Are they distracted enough for me to like?
Distracted, all
Yeah,
of them.
once one of them takes a taste, the others and you see that this one's impressed, and he looks at the others with just eyes that say, "Oh, this is interesting," and they all kind of come over, except one that stays back at the back near you, Cerridwen. And that one looks at you with sort of thin eyes, kind of.
I'm gonna use. Can I like just like hum a little tune to cast a minor illusion, and then have a like large like animal kind of like wolf growl come from behind him in the bushes?
Sure. You can totally do that.
Yeah, do that. Hopefully he'll turn around so I can look under the tarp.
And as soon as it hears the growl, it does turn, and it kind of ducks down and kind of moves to the edge of the cart, looking away from you and over it, that direction.
Grab the tarp and look under it.
And it is goods from the capital. There's silk cloths with unicorns embroidered, beautiful ones. There's silverware. There's candelabras, like really fancy ones from inside the keep, almost for sure. Like, this is wealthy stuff.
Can I?
Did you hear that? It says to the other ones. Hear what? And then it looks back and it sees you, and its eyes go just huge. What are you doing? And it comes over, and its little tiny hand, it kind of just tries to slide the cloth down. And it can only do it if you let it.
Do I recognize these items as from the keep we just came from?
Oh yeah, these are the magic colors. This is booty. Like pirate booty if they were pirates.
It's just like she's just gonna like look at it and be like, I know you took these from the keep, and then she's just gonna like,
We didn't take them from the keep. They were sold to us by people of Cairo.
she's just gonna like throw the tarp back over and be like, yeah, get out of here. Not worth the trouble.
And they start rolling, and one of them is still standing by the jar. What would you give this up for? What's your name?
I am Marcon Von Amstel.
And what's your name?
It's talking to me.
Yep.
You can call me Cerridwen Sagewynd.
Sagewynd.
I don't know. What is the endless supply of mayonnaise worth to you?
Well, how do we know it's endless? How do we know that it doesn't just... We empty it out and there'll be none tomorrow? What we should do... Okay, we'll give you some collateral. We'll give you... And he goes back to the back of the cart. A candelabra as collateral. And if it doesn't work tomorrow, you will have to return the candelabra, but we'll take the jar with us.
No deal. I have no need for candelabras. I live at the Soul. We have plenty of lights. We have a large fire in the center. What would I do with a candelabra? I'd much rather have the mayonnaise at this point.
So what would a soul... Okay, I tell you what, we can get you... And he starts chatting with the others. And you can hear things like rubies, diamonds, sapphires, turquoise. And they're all like, no. And then he hits one, and they're like, yeah. All right. We'll give you. And he reaches back into his coat, and he puts out his hand, and there's tiger's eye stones there, 3 of them. These are very valuable and hard to come by. These are tiger's eye.
Do they make mayonnaise?
No, they make wealth.
Oh, I have no need for wealth. I live at the soul.
Cerridwen, can you talk some sense into this person? Everybody needs wealth. It's sort of the point of living.
Well, no, I can't. She just looks at Morcant and is like, nah.
Well, maybe another time, my friends. Have a safe travel.
Perhaps a deed, one of them
A
says.
deed?
Perhaps we would do something for it, Rat, since you have no interest in things. Perhaps you have interest in opportunities.
How would I ask for this favor to be returned?
We will owe you a favor that we will pay back later on when you ask for it. Something reasonable, of course, nothing too far. It is only mayonnaise.
Well, it's actually not only mayonnaise. You could also pour salt water out. The mayonnaise tastes much better.
Ew.
He also seems like
Um,
wine, right?
You know what? It's a deal.
And they look at each other, and especially the ones looking at the one that made that deal. And they're like, what the hell did you just do? What did you just do?
I'll hand
You
over
just
my-
obligated. And that one, like, just takes it. And the other's like, you just obligated us. And the one that has the jar, it just licks along the edge. And, yep, it was worth it. It's a deal. And it puts his little tiny hand out. And the others are like, you can tell they're furious. And it takes your hand. What the hell did you do?
What is your name, my kobold friend?
Oh. When you come looking for me, you have to come looking for Corliss.
All right, Corliss, I'll remember that. Safe travels.
If you go near Mount Oda, we'll find you.
I'm sure
You
you'll
won't-
know that I'm there before I can find you.
Thank you. This has been a very good trip. And the others are like, yeah, the cart's been a good trip. That's just a jar. Let's go. Before I change my mind. And they are like, maybe you should change your mind. Why don't you change your mind now? I'm not changing my mind. I wanted this. And they start rolling. And the cart continues. And all the rest of them are looking back at you like with just... They're furious, but not so much at you as they are with that one.
I'll turn to Cerridwen and see, I can be fun too.
Well, are you sure that favor was worth your eternal source of mayonnaise?
I swear, as much as I enjoyed having access to honey and mayonnaise whenever I wanted, it really seemed to just be heavy and burdensome.
Yeah, it was. And they get back under their cloth overhangs. They cover the back up, and that one just keeps staring at you, Cerridwen, as they leave. That you tricked. Not at all happy about what transpired. And they slowly go over the rise and start disappearing on the other side.
Well, that was certainly unexpected.
Things are starting to get back to normal.
Yeah,
They should.
pirating the keep. Hey, some of it didn't. That just means some of the stuff didn't leave the island.
Yeah.
Most of it did, but some didn't.
Yeah, now it's just gonna go to Mount Oda.
Yep. It won't look the same soon, most of it. All right, back in Cairo, in the keep. What are you guys doing?
Vesryn would be
Eslov.
Vesryn would be making sure that Millicent is preparing whatever makes my dad the happiest, and then he would make sure that he's dressed for this console.
How are you going to be dressed for the console? Your clothes aren't in there?
Oh, I have my clothes that I'm wearing, and I have nice clothes that I brought with me.
Okay.
So,
yeah, because the stuff in your room that's gone.
No, I know. So, yeah, so I would just make sure that I would wear something that I have that's not dirty. So, and then I would check on Eslov. Probably go to his room.
I don't know if he has a room.
You have a room here.
They assigned you. They gave you a room. There's not much in there. There's a bedroll.
I suppose he would just be sitting there kind of waiting. He doesn't really have much to do right now. He's kind of just playing with his crab.
I knock on the door, and the door just kind of hangs open because the hinges are all probably busted and shit.
I like to imagine that it just falls down.
Yep.
And he jumps.
Thank you for standing by when my father arrived. It's nice to know that you were there.
Well, I have expected him to kick your ass, so I kind of felt obligated.
I don't know. To be honest, I haven't seen him so long. I didn't know what to expect from him. But
he seems like a nice man. Understanding, at least.
He has his moments, you know. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for our island. I do plan on recommending you for some type of award with Father. I don't know if it will happen or not. You, Morcant and Dwyn, actually. I mean, this island would have been lost without the three of you, for sure.
Well, it was an honor to help you.
When this is all done, what's your plans?
I want to explore the woods here. They're much thicker and more vibrant than anything in the Blue Wastes. I want to take some time alone.
Well, I hope that it goes well for you, and I hope you come out better for it. I think the island will do good to have you here. I'm sure it'll be a lot safer with you traveling through.
For the record, if you recommend me for an award, I want it to be a boat.
Well, I don't know if my father will be giving out boats quite yet, but I will let him know if it comes up in conversation that you would prefer a boat.
And you hear feet coming up the hallway, slowly and patiently.
Oh, well, I know who that is.
I'll look out.
and your father is walking the hallway, looking out the windows as he walks.
Vesryn, ask about the boat.
I actually try not to chuckle when you say that. Like, hello, Father. Do you wish to have company, or would you prefer to walk alone for now?
Walk with me. I'd like to visit the city for a while. Eslov, you're welcome to join us.
He looks surprised for a second, and then he gets up and he walks over, stands behind Vesryn.
And he turns and you have to go the opposite direction from where he was coming to go back to the city. Eslov, tell me about your time in the Blue Wastes. What brought you here? And you guys walk, and he listens to your.
All right, where do I begin? For starters, it's a lot different than it is here, obviously. You've been there. That being said, I don't know if I want to go back just yet. There's nothing for me there anymore. I had a falling out with the people who raised me. And there's no reason to go back.
That happens everywhere. Does it not, Vesryn?
Yes, it does.
Oh, they don't call them wastes for no reason.
Oh, I'm well aware. Were you a whaler? Were you a hunter?
You got it on the first one.
Whaler. So you know the sea.
Like the back of my hand, at least, where I'm from.
Have you been on a big sailing ship or on the longboats of the north?
When I saw the boat that you came in for the first time, I thought it was a floating island.
It
I
sort
had
of
never
is.
I had never seen a boat that big. And I'm still in disbelief that it can stay afloat without constant bailing.
There are engineers that can do wondrous things with a few felled trees. Well, more than a few. So what do you think of Cairo?
Cities are still strange to me. If you're asking for an
Uh-oh. Did he freeze?
Oh no.
I think Dillon froze.
Yeah. Dropped.
Oh, there he is. There you go. He's back.
Hey.
I'm back. I don't know what that was. Internet connection is unstable, apparently.
If you're asking for, and that's what we heard.
If you're asking for me to compare it to other cities, I couldn't give an opinion.
Well, the wilderness on Elixia is beautiful too. Dangerous,
Dangerous,
but beautiful.
too. Jakes.
Who's Jake's dad?
Vesryn's like,
And he does something that almost never happens. He chuckles.
Eslov doesn't know if he should be scared or if he should be,
Please.
Yeah.
And you get out of the castle, the group of you, the three of you, and he starts walking down the roads, just sort of not just looking, but seeing people. And when he sees anybody, he stops and he checks on them to find out if there's anything they need, if they are eating, if they have shelter, if they're employed or out of employment. And it's something that you've not seen him do, Vesryn, ever. But some of the people respond as if they know him. Which, the older ones mostly, not younger ones.
yeah.
Any of them that say that they have no work, he says, meet at the gate tomorrow morning. I'll have work for you. And by the time you walk up and down the streets, you can tell that he's employed a sizable number of people. And you don't know how he's going to pay for it since the coffers were emptied. So, Vesryn, you know that you and your brothers and sisters were named based on our expectations for you. And you only kind of vaguely remember that they've told you that your names meant something or whatever it was. You were very young.
I vaguely recall, Father.
I'm going to have Ratha lead the city in my stead when I head out again, although it will be a little while. She was meant to be a guide, though, not a leader. Her name, your name, her name mean things. Your mother's was to bind through joy. That's what she does and did, or did. Eldrin was to lead next, and in a way of calm and normalcy, and obviously that couldn't and doesn't happen, won't happen. Alred was to protect the family's assets. Rotha was to be the guide for our spirit and the souls of those in the family. And you were to lead through discovery. It's how a family prevents stagnation. So I think it's time for you, and if Eslov wishes to join you, to leave the island. You aren't meant to be here, and we're stagnating as a family. I've come to a realization that with your mother gone, there was no way for us to move forward until something either grand or tragic happened. Sadly, it was the latter, but here we are. And none of my children have lived up to my expectations or mother's, and I haven't lived up to my children's expectations. And I need to correct that, but I have to do it while also protecting the realm and doing what needs to be done to make sure that our island and the waters are protected against the West. Aylin's going to remain in prison for now until I decide what to do. I can't even look at him at the moment.
Have you tried to speak to him, Father?
I'm not going down there until I'm ready to go down there.
I must admit, myself, years of torment from Aylin, that when this was happening and I realized he was behind it, my friends can confirm that I wanted him dead, to be honest. But when this thing was done and I realized he's already been in prison his whole life, pretty much, since he was a child. He, though was weak in the moment and gave in to desires, he was a child, and he was corrupted by a fiend's magic. It took a lot for me to see him myself, but I think you should see him and determine yourself how much of it was him and how much of it was the fiend. But regardless, he is still guilty and he must be held accountable for those actions.
It's easy to blame the works of evil things for doing evil, but it's in their nature. People do things that are in their nature. He accepted the gifts of this fiend because that desire for more in ways that were unnatural was in his nature.
I agree. I don't know. I've new thoughts after seeing him afterwards, is all I'm saying.
I'm sending ships out to hunt down the ships that stole our goods. That will be happening tomorrow. I have more ships coming in as soon as possible. I don't know where everything went, but I've talked to people and they said that the castle was ransacked and emptied out, and the people of the city were selling what would be considered our goods. But then I realized that everything in that castle we have in servitude to them. So they were selling things to survive what looked like probably the end of the world to them. So it's time to rebuild. I'll be here for a season and through the winter and a season after that. But don't take this softening, if that's what you think this is, for a lack of anger. Because there's more anger in me right now at the children that I've had than I've had in a long time, and I have been so angry.
Yeah.
Well, you have a good friend here in Eslov. He can teach you how to wander, if nothing else.
I have a request, Father. I know the island needs our attention, but if I'm going to be leaving, I think it's important that I begin unlearning some bad habits and learning some good ones. I've spent most of my life waiting for things to happen and reacting to it. I think it's time that I learn to be more proactive. I would like to learn to wield swords better so that way I can entwine it with my magic. I don't know if you have any men that can help train me to combine the two.
There are a few soldiers left.
I use a sword when you could use an axe.
I'll leave the axes to you, my friend.
Yeah, meanwhile, his is like as tall as you are.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he could hold your axe. Could lift it.
I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna hold it up to Vesryn, and if he puts his hand under it, I'm just gonna drop it into his hands.
Let's see here. What is what is my strength? I think I should be able to hold it, but it would be very uncomfortable because I'm not trained with them. I have a 10 strength.
I have a 19 strength.
Like it's like on my shoulder. I'm like, see?
It's not quite Thor's hammer, but
Closest thing to it.
Take it back.
He just grins at Vesryn's dad.
But I think it's important that for the island, for my friends, that I do more than just react to things.
I agree. Granted, I'll get you someone to train you while you have some time here. There's a lot to be done. The rest of us will take care of it. You need to find our fortunes elsewhere.
I will. Last thing, Father. I will return when the time is right, and I will find Mother and all those who have been taken.
Of course you will. And that sounded more skeptical than believable, than believing. And he turns and he just starts walking away, heading back to the castle.
I will make a believer out of you.
He doesn't say anything and just keeps moving.
Turn to Eslov. Can you take this axe back, please?
Can't you carry it for a while?
It probably didn't help me trying to convince my father when I'm sitting here struggling holding your axe.
He'll grab it with one arm and he'll make a show of how light it is to him.
Yes, we know you're strong and big. Thank you again. Just for
What
being
about
here.
that boat?
I will talk to him at the council tonight and see about a boat or some type of award for you and the others.
And you guys do your thing for a while. Back where the kobold cart had just rolled away, the group of you are out there, and you can tell it's starting to get a little bit darker. The evening is starting to fall.
Okay. Did we? I'm assuming we made it to the lake and hung out, and now we can...
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Made it to the lake, hung out. Morcant probably fished.
He did.
Dwyn probably got out like her books and started recording like what's been happening.
Okay.
Unless you want to add anything, Brandon.
No, that's
Okay.
probably about it.
Okay, yeah. Just a little
Relaxing,
getaway.
cool.
Yeah,
A
getaway
change.
for a couple hours. We'll head back.
Yeah, and when you guys head back,
I think before we head back, I can turn to Cerridwen. It's like, should we return or should we head towards Phelan?
Are we? Aren't we returning to Phelan?
We have to go. I mean, to Cairo.
Oh,
Should we head back with the others, or should we just take off?
I'm gonna head back to Phelan. I think I don't want to leave this way.
Let's say our farewells then.
So you head back to Cairo to meet up with the rest of the group. When you get to the city, you see that there are people sitting outside the wall of the keep, just in a line. Like, some have bedrolls, some are just sitting. And it looks like they're making a line for something. There's one guard at the gate entrance with a spear. And he is just standing at attention at the gate. To the keep, not to the city.
Okay, we'll just get the attention of someone in the line. Excuse me, what is this line for?
It's for work. Work will be ready for us tomorrow in the morning.
Oh.
We just want to be here first, for the better jobs.
All right.
Best of luck.
Oh. We'll walk to the entrance of the city.
Hey, wait! You can't cut the line.
I already have a job. There's no need for me to be in the line at all.
And he just sits back. And you get to the guard. And he's just standing at the gate. May I help you?
We'd like entrance to the city.
Well, the city's over there. This is the keep.
Yes. We were with Vesryn Magic. We need to get back in. I am Marcon Von Amstel of the Soul.
So he looks at you, and how are you dressed, by the way? Are you obviously in religious garments?
The question is, Morcant, would he have taken off his armor to go fishing? And I think the answer is probably yes. Probably be carrying it, though. So he'd just be in his very basic religious garments, because it's all he owns. He doesn't own any clothing that's not from the soul.
And he says, wait one moment, please. And he steps back, and there's another person on the other side of the wall, of the gate, kind of behind a wall, and he says something to him. We'll be with you in a moment. They're gonna go check. And you wait for a little while, and the person goes and comes back. And when he comes back, he goes, yes, you may head into the throne room, and there will be food for you when you get in the kitchens on the other side.
Okay. Thank you.
And you head back. You head into the keep, and the throne room is still emptied. There's now some torches. You can see that there's people are trying to clean up now, reorganize everything, and there's a big archway into the kitchens.
Okay.
And you smell food baked. You smell food being baked.
Could I have gotten word that they were here?
You're on your way back. You'll be there in a moment.
Oh, okay, yeah, we're not there. Okay, my bad. Sorry. I was thinking we were already there.
Nope. I assumed you meandered around a little bit with Eslov first.
Did someone announce this as we walked into the room? All fancy like?
Not at all. It seems like there's so few people that everything is running at just bare minimum. And you get into the kitchens, and you can see that there's a table set up, and there's Phelan sitting at the head of the table, and there are some people sitting there eating, like maybe 20 or 30 people. Come, you're welcome.
Everyone's just gonna be like, she'd like freeze as soon as she saw him, like, oh, and then be like, that mild, like, oh no, it'd just be complete panic, actually. She's not good at hiding expressions. And then she'd like kind of freeze and think, should I step back? No, he's already seen me. I got it. Okay, he's about to stood table now. I gotta go to the table. She's like, right, of course, yeah, we're at the table. Gonna like sit at the end of the table.
Yeah, there's a couple seats. They're not near him. One of you looks like a man of the cloth.
He is.
Are you a person of the cloth too? Do you work with the soul? And it's obvious to you that suddenly you realize he doesn't recognize you.
Does that help or does that hurt more?
She's just like, I work indirectly with them. I mean, I've traveled with Morcant. This is Marcon Von Amstel. We've worked together.
I've heard that name, Morcant. You're from Phelan?
Yes.
You're the one that was questioning a lot of traditions, were you not?
I'm sure I wasn't the only, but of course.
Oh, you were the only one there. The Apania in Phelan is not one to let that slide by many people. I'm sorry to hear of your father and mother. One passed and one ascended, correct?
I can only assume. My mother ascended. My father left me when I was very young.
It's terrible what family does to each other. And he just takes some bread and starts eating and kind of looks to a window and looking out. Enjoy the food.
Now,
And
Scott,
all these people are dirty and they just look like people from the town. Yes.
when I try the bread, is it a little bit dry? Am I regretting my lack of access to mayonnaise?
It is too dry. Because it makes the lack of mayonnaise more potent and
Kind
painful.
of internalize that. Maybe it's a little bit visual, then you can see the regret of my lack of mayonnaise.
Yeah, it's just, and it's not a great meal. It's some vegetables, there's fish, all the fish you want, and the breads.
Should have some mayonnaise now.
What do you do for the soul? I don't think that I caught your name. And he's not really looking at you. He's kind of looking out the window.
She'll just say, I believe we've met, my lord. A long time ago.
And he turns to you. And he looks like, you remember when you were doing things with his son, that he had a stare that was painfully long sometimes. And it was almost never good that he had a stare like that on you.
Like she's kind of like holds it, and like under the table, like her hand just slowly reaches over to Morcant and touches him on his knee, like help me.
You were with my son at one point, weren't you?
Yes.
You're a musician.
I am.
Well, he's passed.
I know.
I think I made it hard on you at one point about that. I did.
She's just, you see like her sort of like nervously looking around like I'm not sure how to answer that. Those are your words, but I won't disagree with them.
Were you left very suddenly when he was with you? It pained him. Your name is Cerridwen, right?
Yes.
You have family in Shaley or...
Aye. They're over there. The Sagewynd.
Your mother was Rhiannon, if I remember correctly. She sent you here to console us when my wife ascended.
That is correct.
And he gets up and he just sort of stands and he looks at you for a minute. Enjoy the food. And he goes and he walks around the table and comes over to you and he puts his hand on your shoulder just for a moment and then he leaves the room. Make me what's the right check for this? Hold on. You've definitely never seen him in a weird mood like this.
Like con?
No, not con. It's an investigation check.
Okay, alright. I can be good at those. Investigation. That's a 13.
Okay. And, he heads out of the room and starts going down some stairs.
It's just this long exhale.
And you realize those stairs are the ones that go down into the cellars and the jail and stuff like that.
Okay, so she takes her hand back. That went better than I expected.
I mean, it's all right, but if it had a little mayonnaise.
She just like busts out laughing.
Everybody there busts out laughing.
Morcant is not very serious.
And Vesryn and Eslov, you get to the gate and you see there's a guard finally at the gate. One guard with one spear and a person behind the gate. And he just stands aside, lets you in.
I wasn't sure if he was somebody who'd recognize me or if he was going to stop me at my family's own gate.
Evening, my lord.
Evening. How goes it?
You don't recognize this guard. It looks like a guard that has just become a guard.
I make a little bit of small talk with him. I'm like, "Good evening. How's everything going so far?"
Good. The meal's inside if you wish to partake. Something other than fish, even.
Have you had anything to eat yourself?
I did. Your father fed me before I went on duty.
You're new, yes?
Yes, I started, a few hours ago.
Thank you for stepping up and taking on this role.
Well, families got to eat, don't they?
They do. The island needs good men and women like you. So thank you for your time and efforts here.
And he nods and turns back to guarding the castle.
And then I will head in, and I'm not sure if Eslov stayed or if he walked ahead of me or not, but
No, he's behind you.
okay.
Yeah, he lets
We
the
should
two
go-
of you in.
Let's go eat, Eslov. Maybe our friends are back. If they didn't run off already to Phelan.
Eslov has probably just been like one of the predators that Scott talked about earlier. He's been full for the past few days.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if fish is rotten, he'll still eat it. It's
Yeah.
worse to survive. It's
All right.
fermented.
It probably. Do you
You
think
prob-
he'd just be fine eating raw fish? Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah, he
you'd
does eat
even
raw
be
fish.
fine eating fermented and like semi rotten fish because that's how they would preserve fish back where he's from.
Gross.
Well,
Great.
Well, I got to play off the actual Scandinavian countries.
Yeah.
It's not exactly.
And you guys walk in. They're cleaning up the throne room. There are people in there working and trying to get it back to some semblance of normal. Even while there's nothing in there, just cleaning off smoke and soot and all the things that have, made it look dirty. But you can smell there's bread baking
Yeah.
through the kitchens.
To help them out a little bit, things that I see dirty, I will cast prestidigitation on it just to kind of clean it up to make it a little bit so they can focus on other tasks.
Oi, we need the work.
No, I know, but this way you can work on other things that are more pressing. Just trying to help. If you want, I can make it go back. I can throw some dirt on it.
No
And
response
I will,
to that.
then I will turn and head back in. Try to help. And then I will sit down at the table and I'll sit by Dwayne and I'll just kind of nudge him like, has my father eaten yet?
yeah, we've met. It was terrifying, but it actually went okay. He just kind of talked to me a little bit about, like, oh, you were the musician. Oh, you made my son sad. Oh, I made things hard for you. And I was like, all of those things are true. That's what we said to each other. He seems different.
I think the shock of losing Eldrin and Aylin's betrayal to the island and the family and seeing his home in ruins has given him a little bit insight. To be honest, he wasn't acting the way I know him to be either, but he did tell me that this may be temporary for now and that to expect him to be harsh again in the near future once things are settled. Does he know about your son?
I didn't mention it. So I mean, he didn't seem to let on, but he knew. But I don't know how he'll react if we do bring that up, and I don't know if Talison wants anything to do with us.
Regardless if Talison wants anything to do with us, that's completely his choice when we find him. If I was you, I would speak with Rotha. She is very good at guiding people. But in my opinion, if you were going to tell my father, now might be the best time. He's in a nicer mood, and something like this might bring him a little bit of joy, knowing that Eldrin's not completely gone from this world in some ways. That's just my perspective. Totally your choice, and I will respect whatever you choose to do. but my father is going to be sending me out into the world at the end of when the last ship sailed. So if you find any information on where, then I'd be glad for you to join me and sail in that direction.
And it just dawns on you that it's weird that he would not be here at the table. Normally he is the last one to leave a meal. That it's the respectful thing to do is you set up, you give everybody the time, and then you leave last.
Yeah, and then did you see him leave?
Yeah, he went down towards the dungeon. I think he went to go check on your younger brother.
Did he have any food with him? Did you see?
I don't think he took anything with him.
I will eat. I will take a little bit of food, and I will head down towards the dungeon to give Aelin something to eat.
And as you're coming down, he finds you as he's coming up, and his face is red, furious, and he grabs your arm. Upstairs, boy, and he throws the food away. And he's a lot stronger than you would have thought, even at his age. I mean, he's not decrepit, but and and when he gets up to the top of the stairs, everybody out! Everybody! Except you! And he points at you, Cerridwen.
Am I leaving as well, Father?
And he's holding your arm. He's not letting your arm go.
Yeah.
And first off, he doesn't often raise his voice like that. I mean, he's mean and cruel, but not loud normally. Take the food with you. Out. And he walks you over to the table. And his arm is gripping so tight you can feel like the burn of his hand in your muscles.
Father, I'm not leaving. You can let me out.
And he realizes that he was doing it. Sit down. And he walks back over to the table.
Is Eslov here right now?
Yeah, you're there eating.
Yeah, he's not going to leave.
Okay. It's almost like he doesn't even notice you. Everybody else scatters out except you and maybe Morcant.
Morcant, did you stay or did you leave?
I stick around.
You're a person of the soul, correct?
Yes, I am Marcon Von Amstel.
You can do weddings then.
I could prepare for a wedding, yes.
Cerridwen, I hear that you have a grandson of mine that came from this family.
Well, yeah.
Vesryn's gonna be like, what?
You and you did this without being married. You need to marry. Oh my God! You need to marry into the family now. Vesryn, are you willing?
Father, what?
We can't have a bastard child out there. We need to have a father for it. If you're not willing, go get one of the others.
I'm looking at Dwyn like,
To legitimize the child, you don't need to force a marriage on people.
Eslov's like frozen mid-bite into like a piece of mutton or something.
He doesn't even know you're there. He doesn't
His
even
eyes
know
are
you're there.
wide.
Well, I mean, we could just say that I was secretly married to Eldrin, and no one said anything.
The gods will know that. Do you wish to be in the family or not?
I think
I can get you any one of my sons if you want. My daughters. It really doesn't matter. And you can see that there's like he may have snapped a snaps in his mind.
I'm gonna like nudge Morcant. Calm emotions. It's emotions. Chill it the fuck out, man.
How did you have a child under my walls and I didn't even know about it? And my son, the crazy one, tells me.
And Dwyn's just like, She stands. Is he standing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's not sitting.
She's just gonna stand up
Uh-oh.
and meet him.
Because you're
say-
bigger than him. You're taller.
Yeah. The only thing I have ever wanted is to protect my son.
You know
Marin
what?
if Marin into the family will do it, fine.
So where is your son? Where's my grandson? How did this happen? I understand technically how it happened, but
Well, Eldrin and I just fell in love. And he...
you're a historian and a musician, right? A bard.
Well, yes.
She's more than a bard, Father.
Can anything else happen to this family?
Father, this isn't a bad thing. And we can figure it out. But perhaps we need to take a moment and come back at this with cooler heads.
No one... Pretty sure it stayed within the family, the knowledge.
My son says that nobody knows where the boy is. Is that true?
I don't know where he is. I didn't know what you would do. So
What
sent him
I would
away.
do?
I didn't know what Eldrin would do. I didn't know what anyone would do.
So you abandoned your son?
I sent him into the care of people that I knew would keep him safe. The elders of Shaley took care of it.
She didn't abandon her son, Father. She protected him the best way she thought she could.
Then where the hell is her son? That's not protecting it if you toss it off to the wind or off on a ship somewhere. It's yours. It's your nephew.
I know, Father.
Why are you? You could have.
I just recently found out, and we are already working towards figuring where he is. And to be honest with you, since you're telling me to leave the island, I planned on going straight to find my nephew, Talison. He has a name, by the way.
Talison?
Yes.
Right.
So the keep falls to one fiend. My family is torn to pieces by this thing. The city's abandoned. My grandchild's abandoned. It's hidden from me for... How old is he now? I don't even know. This must have happened.
It's about 30. About the adult age of Firbolg. Be a young adult now.
My kids are falling in love with the... And he catches himself.
With what, Father?
With the help. She came to help us through a grief.
You know, Father, I was coming here to tell you, these three here are not more than just help. They are heroes.
And he just realizes there's other people here.
They are heroes. Eslov, Morcant, and Cerridwen here are heroes of your island. They should be respected and given the highest rewards. They put your home, your people, your family above their own lives. When Dwin found out about what had happened to her son, she didn't turn tail and leave us high and dry to take care of her own stuff. She took care of your people first. Instead of yelling at her and being mad at her, be glad that there's some part of Eldrin still here. Be glad that these three stood by your family in the worst situation they've been in who knows how long.
So what does this name mean? What does Talison mean? I don't know the term. What is it going to divine for my grandchild? Does Talison mean something important?
With all due respect, Father, the other names didn't work out so well.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to his mother.
It means shining brow. He's meant to bring hope to people.
Well, maybe somebody can live up to expectations around here. Fine, we need to go see your mother and find out. No. You need to do this, Vesryn. Now I know what your name does mean.
What does my name mean?
To lead through discovery. You need to learn what's happened. And you need to lead the family back through this. Maybe this son is what, or this child is what the family needs to reconcile. I apologize for calling you the help.
Genuinely surprised at that.
But this is not my best moment.
Clearly.
I want to know how to bring this family together again, because I can't have it fall apart for a third time. We may not survive as a family.
If I may say something, it's been Vesryn who's been holding the family together.
Vesryn looks like shocked, like, no, definitely, it's I feel like Rotha has been the one who's really been doing it, but thank you for your kind words to her.
Does Rotha know about this child? Has she known about this child for a long time too?
I do not know, Father. You'd have to speak with her. And I'm trying to cover for Rotha because I don't know what she wants to say, so I don't know if you want me to roll.
Steward! Get in here!
I wouldn't sell yourself short.
The steward comes in just shaking. Find me Rotha. And he leaves as quickly as he possibly can get out.
Trying to break the silence, Vesryn goes, well, I don't know if you want to know, but Morcant and I are sort of blood brothers at this point as well, so I don't know if that's important to you.
Morcant? This Morcant?
Yes.
All of you have known each other for a while.
Yes, we became blood brothers after slowly killing a demon in a basement together. We were there for long.
I don't know if I quite describe it in that way, but
That is accurate.
yes, accurate.
Why were there demons here? Has anybody learned that yet?
Karos is looking to take over and become a real god, but he's just a failure.
What the hell's a Karos?
And I guess we could go into in detail and tell him.
Yeah, tell them our discoveries.
And mostly it's yelling with moments of listening in between.
There's also a portal lake. That's a thing, but we didn't really look into that.
Oh, and don't forget about the portals around the island, that we could use those to improve transportation, Father. But you have to use blood magic.
Those.
And Rotha is brought in after a while. Did you know about Talison? And her eyes just like... Yes, Father. God damn it! How does everybody know everything around here?
And then Cerridwen kind of mutters, "When you're not really around."
She is the seer, isn't she?
Because we don't leave.
That's what stewards are for, to inform me of things when I return. And the steward, just like the steward's eyes just like bug-eyed out. You're dismissed, not from the job. Just get out of here. To the steward, who happily exits. That was funny. Vesryn and Morcant's blood is thicker than mayo.
Vesryn, your family reunion has been wonderful, but I think I'll be going.
Oh, you don't need to be leaving. If you are part of this, I need to understand what's happened. And I don't think you could lie to me.
Sure, I could if I tried.
Challenge accepted. So
Is Talison on the island or not on the island?
We think he's off island at I'd have to look all through my notes, but
Wythe.
This Blythe. We think he's in Blythe.
Wythe? That's all the way in Arendelle, across the sea. Arendelle. I don't even have a ship here that can make that trip right now. Is Omar... Steward! Find out if Omari's ship... And Steward kind of walks in again, like from outside. Find out if Omari's ship is still in Phelan. That ship can get across. If it is, tell them to stay until their new passage arrives. She'll be paid well. And he leaves again.
Wait. When he calls him back in and that steward's like this, I'm like, sorry. Like behind my dad's back. Like,
right.
Sorry.
Cerridwen. So, are there any of my children that you would want to be married to? If
I can interject. As a widow, you are also on the table here.
Just see, like
that was awesome.
There's like a deep breath from Dwayne. Just like...
That's a good thought. I'm not sure that's where I want to go.
He might as well be, just right at the top. You can be the Viscountess.
And he starts to sweat, like at the thought, like I'm not a young man anymore.
Well, I mean, you seem quite fit, I mean, you do have the Viscount title.
Vesryn will slowly turn at you like, please tell me you're joking.
She just like looks at you and gives you. She's just gonna give you a wink.
Okay, good.
We can't do this quickly. All right, I'm being too rash. We need to meet your parents. We need to offer up the children to see if there's any prospects you'd be interested in. If not, then we have to make up some kind of, like you said, maybe. Morcant, is there some kind of a retroactive marriage that can be performed? Can somebody be married?
You can legitimize a bastard child.
That's not the same thing.
No, but you can do it, and he's not forcing someone into a marriage. You'll just have to contact the king. Within your title, isn't it?
I have to send to the king for that. which
Shall
means
I
I
call
have to
you
admit to the
steward?
king to this.
How about this, Father? First and foremost, we focus on Talison. Instead of worrying about the marriage right now,
Let's just
it's more
find him
important
first.
to let's find him first. And then we can figure things out from there. I mean, rushing into these marriages, we don't even know where Talison is, and I think that is a much higher priority at the moment, making sure the young man is safe.
I'll be right back. And he storms out and heads up to the rooms.
Well, I would like to thank you all for coming to my family's dinner. I hope you're enjoying the meal and show that you're getting. Rotha, did you see this coming?
No. And she's kind of shaking still, like, if you need somebody, I would marry you if you needed that. I mean, it's not really, I'm not looking to get married, but if it became necessary, I would be willing to help.
I think we all would, but that's not the point. I think it should be something that Dwayne wants to do, not be forced to do.
Finally, Eslov leans forward and says, "What's marriage?"
That's a conversation for not here.
Well, we'll table that for now. But she goes over to Rotha and takes her hand. Just thank you, Rotha. I appreciate the gesture. I mean, I'm sure all of you would be fine prospects, but I don't think any of you would want to be marrying me.
Vesryn's right, though. I mean, really, it should be up to you to choose your spouse. Oh, I need to go do some divining. I'm very confused as to what's going to happen next.
Just so you know, Rotha, I'm sure you'll find this out very soon. None of us ratted you out. Aelin is the one who started all this downstairs, and it just kind of flowed into your aura. So, sorry about that.
It's fine. It had to come out at some point. I suppose it's best to have it all happen at once, and maybe we can move on soon, and maybe he'll go back out to sea.
Well, we can
That
only
might
hope.
be useful.
Oof.
I was excited, and then now I'd much rather him be at sea. Yes.
You hear him storming back down the hall.
Run, Rotha, run.
I'll remain. And he comes in, and he's got a chest. And he puts it down on the table, and you can hear it like money. You're going to need money for your travels, for the things that need to be done, perhaps bribes or whatever kind of things need to be done to find my grandchild. Talison has to be found. The ship out front will take you around to Phelan to get you there faster if that will work. You say there's a faster way. I don't know of it. If Omari's there's enough money to pay her handsomely.
Yeah.
You may even have to leave in winter. Omari can travel in winter. She's one of the few pilots I would trust to do it. And we're already coming on winter very quickly, so...
Well, we can get I'll get those things in place. Dwayne, if you want to return home and see what information you can find out. So,
Dwen. It's Dwen, not Cerridwen. You call her... That's like an informal name for you, correct?
Yeah.
I'll try and call you that. And he does something really weird. He takes your hand between his two hands, just one of them,
I now pronounce you husband and wife. I kid.
Yes.
You're welcome here in Cairo, anywhere on the island, regardless of wedding vows or marriages. From this point on, I will consider you part of the family. Please bring... I haven't had a grandson yet. And he lets your hand go. And he realizes what he did, and he's like apologetic almost with his hands. Like, and he steps back
It's
a
a
little
roller
bit.
coaster of emotions with this guy.
Yeah, there's a lot. Jordan's just sort of like watching him pull the hand away, and then she'll
They'll take care of you.
they
And
already
points
have.
all of you. Except you, Ratha. You have to run things when I have to leave again. So I need to teach you some stuff about where our secret coffers are.
Whoa, secret coffers. That explains a lot. Also they've
I'm the
been
rogue in the party.
there's you might want to check Cairo for your stolen goods. I hear that there's been a bit of a black market for it.
Most of the goods have left Cairo. The ship that was here when the city was falling, it was buying goods off everybody. I believe they were going to Mirador, which once they get there, that ship won't have to come back. If it got everything I've heard it got, that ship will retire.
Well, but hopefully we'll catch them before then.
With what ship?
I thought you were sending some people after them. I heard you
Yeah,
say
but not
earlier.
right now. It's going to take time, and we won't catch them before they get to Mirador. And once they're in Mirador, our ships can't even enter the waters. You don't really know anything about Mirador.
No, I don't. Besides my training that I'm going to be doing, and this is the first time, couple, you've heard me talk about some new training. Perhaps you could let me peruse information that you've learned about other nations, since I'm going to be going out into the world. The more information I have at my fingertips, the better I'll be able to track down our nephew.
The historian is dead. Most of the books were destroyed by the fiend, by Talvames. I'll tell you what I know. We'll spend some time talking. As a matter of fact, to make this happen, perhaps I should travel with you to Phelan.
That's entirely your choice, Father. I mean,
To give you some time. Although, Cerridwen, what do you know of the history of the island?
Oh, well, what part? She just she has like her pack under the table, and she just kind of like pulls it up, and then like. Well, I mean, we have most of our library back home, but I keep records on me as I go, so I can give you detailed accounts of what's happening. I won't have anything from on me. I know lots. I just need a more specific question.
So the question is, could you inform my son of people, places, and things that have happened in the history of the island and prepare him for heading off island?
Well, I mean, I need information on the other places, like the place you just said. I don't even
Right.
remember the name of it.
And off island. Mirador. It's in the south.
Has my mom been off island? Have
You
any
don't
of
know.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if any of the Winnywicks have been off island. But we do have archives, as we are historians. I could check. But I certainly have information on the island itself. I've traveled it many times.
I'm torn. The city needs to be rebuilt. And no, I'll stay. You'll have to take on the task of making my son smart.
She just kind of smiles.
Smarter.
It's just, I can certainly teach him a thing about history. Well, I guess we're going to Shaley then. I need to see my mother. Tell her what's happening.
Wherever you need to go. If you need horses, you'll have horses. Steward! Sorry. And he comes back in. Are there any horses still left? Yes, Lord, there are a few. Okay. You'll have horses. And he backs away, back around the corner.
Oh, shoot. My horse is still
If you need a ship,
in Phelan.
Yeah, yours is in Phelan. If Omari's there, you'll be in good hands when you get there. And make sure she's paid handsomely enough to make the journey midwinter, if that's when you end up having to travel. Will you all be going and helping, I assume? Morcant? Cerridwen?
My
Eslov?
dedication is to the soul.
I'll talk to the Apania for you.
No problem.
Think of this as saving the souls of the island.
Eslov just kind of shrugs and he says, I've got nothing else to do.
We're glad to have you.
I'm glad to have you. Just don't make me hold your axe again.
You'll be the one carrying it for me.
Who?
Was he able to hold your ass? You've gotten so strong.
Yeah.
For a whole 2 minutes, he was able to.
Ooh, a whole 2 minutes. Look at you.
An
Impressive.
improvement.
Hey, I've been doing push-ups in the morning.
Good for you.
Really? I haven't seen it.
Well, I usually get up before you do.
Likely story.
I only sleep for 4 hours in a trance.
Yeah, he can work out technically. You never know. Prestidigitation. You never know.
You never know. You never know. Just clean it right off. No sweat. Poof.
And after a while, he stops talking and he goes like this. He will hit a point and he has nothing to say at the moment and he just goes into listen mode. But he's an intense listener too.
So he's like listening to us joke around with each other, trying to relax.
Yeah, he's like catching every nuance of how you speak. I won't forget you again, Cerridwen.
Thank you. It's just like
I'm not sure how that happened in the first place.
Father, on the discussion I said earlier about these three being heroes, perhaps it would be good to present to the people them as the heroes, to show that, give them something to be happy about.
an icon is strong image.
It could help soothe some of the people's fears and concerns with what's happened.
Make me a persuasion check.
Something I'm good at. Let's see here. 30-20.
Ooh.
I'll tell you what. I'll give them ample reward when they return Talison.
I'm not worried about so much the reward. I'm more concerned about the people.
I don't want to make a hero out of people and then they walk away the next day and leave. I don't think the timing is appropriate.
That makes sense.
Does this conclude the business of everything?
Yes. Congratulations on your child. Belatedly, obviously. and he almost smiles, but doesn't quite let it out.
Thank you. Yeah. I'll be sure to find him.
While she's talking to him, he's distracted. I'll lean over to Eslov and be like, "Sorry, I couldn't get you the boat."
Okay, there's always next time.
And he bows.
I'll take it. I owe you for now.
He bows like a light bow and heads back down to the cellars.
Father, do you wish to give Aelin anything to eat?
I don't. And he doesn't turn and say it. He just says it as he's walking.
As you wish.
Just sort of like stand in silence until he's gone.
And Rotha is she's still bothered. She's still shaking even a little. And
I'll
she
give her a hug.
catches a breath when she hears that first step hit the cellar, the stairs to the cellar. She gets a good deep breath. Wow. I guess you're all going on a trip.
No,
on an adventure. I didn't see it coming this way.
We're not.
And you're not reviled by him.
No, I'm not. I'm still wrapping my head around that one.
And she comes up and she hugs you and says, "Welcome to the family." Sort of.
And she hugs her.
I think.
It's a start. He seems keen on finding Talison and legitimizing him one way or another. She kind of slides her eyes between the two of the siblings. Hopefully it'll work out in the end.
Well, it was a very eventful meal. I'm not sure we should have any more of those.
Can I get a drink?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And
that we definitely.
She yells, "Steward! Where's there some alcohol in here?
One for me, too.
Bring the bottles."
All of them.
Dwyn, about marrying you, it's not that I don't want to marry you. I mean, you are a very lovely woman. They really caught me off guard, and I would be willing to if you needed it too. I felt very awkward, so I still feel a little bit awkward. So yes.
Yeah, it was awkward. You call me your sister. As laughs nervously and looks away.
Very odd indeed. Yes.
Yeah, I need. Do other drinks coming?
Yes, drinks, please.
And the
drinks.
steward, the glasses and bottles chink as he's coming in.
I still don't know
What do you want to do?
He still
I still don't know what marriage is, but it sounds terrifying.
It's basically when two people legalize their
devotion.
devotion. Like, when you take a mate, it's just you legally declare it, and then they're your mate forever.
Just one mate.
One.
So everyone knows that they fuck?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, not everyone knows,
Yes.
but many people assume.
He's
Yes.
like shaking his head at this.
And to be
He's like
fair,
scratching his head.
there are some marriages where they don't do that at all. So,
That's also true. There's plenty
What would
of
your
political
what would yours
marriages.
what?
That's
Awkward?
yeah, that's a great word.
be? Like
That's
so
awkward.
confused.
That's really awkward to ask us about that. I mean,
Yes.
would you do that to your brother or sister? And
Drinks.
it's hot
Drinks.
here.
Well, I think I need to go back to Phelan before your father sends me around the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Twin.
I was just gonna ask. I'm going to Shaley. You're going to Phelan. What about you two?
I have training.
You have
to do.
training. Okay.
I'm headed into the woods.
Well, there's lots of woods in Shaley. Do you want to come with me?
Yeah, he thinks for a minute and he's like, yeah, see, why not?
Okay.
I'm sure you could use a bodyguard.
Glad to have you.
Morcant, perhaps I will go with you as well.
Well,
Do
your
some
father
damage.
did say there was going to be a fast ship
Yes. And
going to Phelan, so
yes, can do from there.
And Rotha pops the cork and starts pouring all the glasses. Well, Father's home.
Father's home.
And I'll take my glasses and say, "Father's home."
Ka-chink.
grab my water.
And this is where we'll break. All right. Thank you, everybody. We will see you with working audio and all that stuff, hopefully next week.
Thanks for
That was
sticking with us.
Yeah, that
Yes.
was a terrible start.
I know.
God.
I know, but
And almost inevitable.
a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to split the
That's
party
awesome.
for a little bit. No big deal. All right. Thank
Nothing
you.
ever
We'll talk to
felt
you guys
that.
later.
Yes. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
All right. Already starting the awkward chats. I like it.